What am I supposed to do if there isn't a gender-neutral restroom available?
Shit your pants or stay home, you fucking dipshit.
Yeah, so it's 10:30 in the morning. I rescued a baby rabbit last night, and didn't know what to do with him. So luckily he was, I think, already 3 weeks old, and it sounds like after 3 weeks they don't need their mother really anymore. So I kept him because I didn't want to release him back into my yard, because then the freaking cats would get a hold of him. That's how I found him in the first place, because one of the wild cats had him by the back of the neck. He was bleeding a little bit, but wasn't pouring out. I think it's just a little minor cut. But so I rescued a wild bunny, baby bunny. He spent the night in the back of the Blazer because I didn't know where else to put him. I can't have him in the house because I don't have a cage that's designed for rabbits. And so I just put him in a cardboard box, and then I put him in the back of the Blazer because I knew he'd be safe back there. I couldn't leave him in the garage either because I have a cat that stays in the garage overnight, so that wasn't going to work. So yeah, he stayed in the back of the Blazer all night. I came out this morning to check up on him about 9:30 this morning. He got out. He was in the back of the Blazer. He was actually under the back seat, so I had to kind of finagle him in such a way where I could grab him real quick. He's still alive. I figured maybe, he'd be in shock from last night, that he'd probably die from that, but no, he actually survived. I brought him to the farmyard because I knew that he'd be safe here. Ain't nothing gonna get to him here. I just put him underneath that trailer house for now. But as soon as I let him go, he took off. He knew where to go. So, yeah. Not something I wanted to do at freaking 11:30 at night, was go rescue a damn bunny, but I didn't want the fucking cats to kill it either. Because I could hear the bunny, or the baby bunny, and whatever you want to call it, hollering. So it was begging for help. So I had my window open. So I said, well, fucking, I'm up. So I might as well go take a look. Sure as fucking shit. I thought maybe it was a bird or some kind, but I don't know. It wasn't. It was a baby bunny, unfortunately. But thankfully, he's old enough. He's right at that limit where he technically doesn't need mother anymore. And he's not going to get mother anyway, because I don't know where the nest was at. Apparently, the nest should have been close to my place. Probably in the neighbor's yard there in that pile of shit, but I wasn't going to fuck around with it. Chances are the cats would have found him again anyway. Over here, he ain't going to get bothered. So, I'm checking up on the hay that I cut last night. I'm going to come this... Surprisingly, it's dried out quite a bit overnight. I'm still gonna sit for the rest of today. I'm gonna rake it this evening, and then it can sit for one more day, maybe. And then we'll either give it to the cows, or we'll just maybe I'll just go throw it in a windrow or something, So, see, my uncle's already gone. I don't know where the hell he would have went. But that's a massive piles of hay. Here's a big wad. So I'm trying to kick that around so it'll dry a little nicer. It's not going to dry much here because of the trees, but I don't know. So, but yeah, it certainly looks nice, smells nice. Didn't cut the greatest, unfortunately, because that's too much material for that old school cutter bar. But yeah, see, I missed a strip right here. I mowed some of this so I'd have somewhere to drive. I'm going to have to, I guess, mow one more swath over. So, but yeah, and this hay here won't dry any because it's right under a fucking tree. It doesn't matter anyway. It'll probably go straight to the cows. So, but maybe we can try for a second cut, huh? So, I don't know. So, I guess that's my good deed for today. I'm sure that bunny will be fine. So, supposedly they eat grassy materials and leafy materials. So like grass, I suppose they eat, and leaves from, like, I suppose a tree or from a plant or a weed or something. So but I don't know. He'll be alright though, I'm sure of it. So, oh, he's already here, already getting ready to cut. Huh. I guess I'll go see what he's gonna do quick. But yeah, I just want to give you guys that little bit of an update. So, see you in a little bit. Well, guys, how's she going? So, yeah. Haying season has finally started. He was here yesterday. He should be done now. He came back at about 11 o'clock this morning. I think he's, yeah, he should already be at the, should be at the cemetery field, I think, right now, cutting over there. It looks like he's done here. So, yeah, everything here is cut. But again, he fucking had to, not his fault, just the way shit turned out. He had to lift the cutter bar up a little bit for some of this because just too much thick material, and the mowers that MacDon obviously can't handle it. So, looks like he's pretty much done here. I have to check up on some things because he didn't cut the fence line yesterday like I told him. I don't know if he misunderstood me or what. So I just happened to run into him this morning. There's a clip I got that'll go up before this anyways. You guys know about that, but yeah, so what was that? Go back. Okay. I don't like doing that, but there's something laying here in the field. This looks like it might just be trash. It almost looks like a piece of metal, but I don't know what that would have been off of. Just a piece of plastic. Looks like a coffee cup of some kind or something stupid, but so yeah, it's now 1 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to rake that stuff in the garden yet. I was going to wait till this evening and then rake it into a windrow and then I'll let it sit for one more day. So yeah, he cut the 12-acre piece. And then there's one thing that I didn't tell him. Come on, get up on top of the hill here. But I guess we'll just keep this running because I ain't gonna stay here very long. Because I gotta check other areas too. But this should still be, well, this will be a little, yeah, you can see the color difference compared to what was just cut today. So, yeah, that's already feeling pretty nice. That's on top though. Sun's out for the most part. But if you dig underneath, got a little bit of moisture to it, but it ain't bad. Like, you know, another day or two, this probably would bail. But then the stuff that was obviously just cut today, that's not going to be anywhere near ready. But yeah, you can see the color difference in the 4 outside rounds compared to today's rounds, or these inside rounds. So I'm surprised he even, well, I guess he's always kind of cut it that way. So, but I got to look at the fence line because he did cut it. I happened to run into him after I let that bunny go. I came out here to see how things were going. Seen his pickup truck parked here in the corner, and then him walking to the tractor because he parked the tractor over by the bridge because he walked across the bridge to go into North Dakota. I supposed to go to his pickup, but now his pickup's on this side. Probably because it's got the fuel tank and parts and stuff in it. So, yeah, I feel like this, it's obviously still moist because it was just cut, you know, like an hour ago or whatever. So this wouldn't even be near ready, but I bet you by this evening she'll be pretty dry. So the one thing that I didn't tell him because I forgot, but I guess he knew, or he just said fuck it and go for it. And I haven't been back here since since last year when we cut these trees down. But he actually cut right in here. There was some trees in here, you know, a few feet or a couple of feet there, and I cut those trees down, obviously. And he did cut it. I guess it looked clean. So, yeah, you can even still see some of the evidence left behind from the trees, you know, from from the branches and shit when they fell. So, because I never did pick those up, I just picked up the ones that I knew that were going to be an issue. Sometime this fall, I got to take care of this guy that's hanging out right there. See him? He's hanging out over the field. I'll have to crawl in there and cut it down, and we'll get rid of that. I've been meaning to do that for the last 2-3 years, but I don't like doing stuff like that until after hay's been officially taken off. So, yeah, I forgot to tell him about this, but I guess he knew, or he figured, nothing here, grass, you know. But yeah, there were some trees and stuff in there, but I cut them off. So, won't be letting that hay go to waste anymore. As long as he keeps cutting it, we'll be alright. So, it was a frog. But in some areas, he did cut pretty low. I suppose because it's not quite as thick, but I don't know. So, oh yeah, and then I gotta go into that 12-acre piece. I guess we'll do that since we're here. See if he, I don't know if he took that one bush out, because there was a bush growing in there too in that one section. I didn't look at that didn't look at that yesterday. So I guess we'll go do that now. I guess you can still walk on the bridge. On the walking part. Just can't drive on it. Which I guess is good too. Technically you still could get across if you had to. But whatever. You either be walking it or taking your four-wheeler across. Oh, is that a tree branch laying there? Shit. It's a constant thing to fucking do over here is pick up fucking tree branches, and half the time you don't even see them. Now this thing's been dead for years. So but yeah. So, in and out, in and out, in and out, right? So, hate driving on windrows, but I'm trying to avoid it. So, left a little strip there. Probably didn't cut very well, but yeah, over here. He did cut it good. There was a bush starting to grow. That bush was starting to grow back here again in this 12-acre piece right in the corner, and I didn't know if he would cut it. He did go around this dead tree though, which we never did ever finish taking out. Oh, the windrow's so freaking skinny here. I gotta bounce across. I freaking hate that shit. Come on. We'll just go. We'll just come in this way here. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Getting worse, apparently. So, okay, so he actually did come in here around even more. He didn't cut this last year. I think he... maybe he did. I don't remember, because this would be too far out. Unfortunately, he did hit that frickin' tree. Which we never did finish cleaning, really, because that's where the fucking beehive is in there. But I don't know if they'd be there now. But see, there's another tree down in there we didn't get out yet because we were waiting for fall to come so the bees would die off, and then we'd come back and get that. We just never did. But it'll have to wait again until fall, and then we'll have to just cut it and get rid of that, push it further in there. I would just push it further in there and get rid of it. That'll have to get hauled out. But no, this is has always done really good for hay, and I didn't really care for it being left behind because it's really some nice shit. And if you keep cutting it like that, it'll stay dry, you know, because this usually is kind of like a wet spot, because obviously it's a low spot. But if you can cut it, and then it'll just dry out, and it'll just keep getting drier from there on. We would have to have a lot of heavy rain to do something with that. I don't know why this windrow's, or this pile of hay is kicked away. Like that. I want all of it to get baled. He must have plugged the machine here or something. There. Yeah, I think this is where that bush was growing at. Well, maybe that could have been one. Could have been. I don't see it in the I don't see it in the hay though. Maybe that's why I don't know. It wouldn't be why he plugged, because I didn't find it in that pile either. But yeah, so no, it's a good thing, because if that tree wasn't there, he would have been able to cut that. But that's only like 6 feet. But it's 6 feet that we could be using for hay. So we'll have to go in there this fall. Probably not going to do it now because I don't know if those bees are there or not. We'll have to try to do something with it this fall and get it out. I'm not sure how far he went in there, but probably not very far, I would assume. So, and this little bit of hay that's right here, he picked it up. That's actually my hay for when I was cutting the trail. So somehow he was able to pick some of that up and put it into a windrow, which is fine. That's still good stuff. Hopefully that'll end up on the outside of a bale, because then it'll add protection to the main hay. You got, you can sacrifice that little bit of hay. So, but yeah. So that looks good. Now we'll go over by the fence liner now. Come on. Oh, service 4-wheel drive. Well, why are you being that way now? Service 4-wheel drive my ass. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't have 4-wheel drive now for some fucking reason. Fucking dumb. So I was just a fucking sensor going out again. Didn't throw that error code at me this morning, so I don't know what his fucking deal is. I'm just gonna ignore it. So if it's it could just stay out then. We'll let the other people fucking deal with it when they want to. Yeah. It's not on, so I don't know why it says service. I wonder if we can just ignore that. There's no light on though. I'll just ignore it. So I don't know. It's just always fucking something with this stupid Blazer. But we're not using it anyway, so fuck it. If it's broken, it's broken. It can get looked at when it goes to the GM dealer. It's probably just a glitch in the software again. Or a sensor is bad, or maybe a sensor's unplugged or something, I don't know. So, but yeah. So we'll have to cut that in there too at some point and get it out. So, but yeah, I don't know. So at least the hay is down. So we'll go over to the fence line here now and see what I did see him cut it, but I wasn't sure what he exactly did. So we'll just take this windrow, I guess. So I don't know. So I think we're actually on the fence line. I think that's why it's so rough here. Damn it, I should have went over one more windrow. And the hay is so freaking thick you can't even drive on the windrow. And that's probably why my 4-wheel drive is acting up. Probably because I pulled the plug or something, pulled the wire. Probably ripped the wire for all I know. Oh well, we don't use 4-wheel drive enough on this thing anyway, but it's nice to have it when you do need it. So, but I don't know. So, let's see what he did here. Because I thought I would have to come back and cut this. And I didn't. I'm still going to have to come back and I think and cut those freaking trees again. He did hit it there. He must have forgot there was a ditch there, but see, those damn bushes are coming back. He did cut them, I see, but it's still going to continue to grow, which is probably going to be okay for now, because see if it'll get some leaves back on it, and then I'll have to just spray it with some weed killer, see if I can actually kill it, and then I'll have to cut them again with the chainsaw or something. Just cut them low to the ground. They gotta quit growing eventually. So, but it did that in a couple places here, I think, and then yeah. But that big tree, I wondered about though. I don't think he hit it, but because he's got the windrow laying right on top of it, but there's nothing really to do about that, I suppose. So, but yeah, he left a little bit behind. I guess he wasn't too sure where he could go, but whatever. Oh yeah, I guess the windrow's not on top, because that's where it's at. He did leave all this behind, which I don't know, I guess I got options. I guess I could, that's where I wanted him to kind of go too, was in further, but I guess whatever. If you want shit done right, you got to do it yourself. That's basically bottom line. But he did cut it most, the rest of the way. There's no sense to leaving that. You knew to cut it because you cut it last year. So do it again. Keep cutting it every year. But I'll have to just, I guess, mow this down, get rid of it, because it can't be here either. Because this has to be cleaned up, so then I can get in here, take this bush out. That'll be a full-time job, and then he can cut. I'll have to clean that up too, I guess. And then from there in, he can cut it, But now we don't waste hay on this farm. That's not an option anymore. I don't care if the hay is really good. That's the kind of the fucking point. If you have good hay, you take every goddamn square inch of it. But whatever. I don't think that's going to be an issue, because this is where he bobbed in, so he went right over it. He didn't cut that though, which is funny, but whatever. I guess I'll just mow the rest of this down, because it has to get out of here regardless. And then that'll be this will be this fall. I'll actually have to cut those down first, I think, get them out so I can get in further. It's got berries on it right now, which I guess are for birds and whatever, but they won't be here this fall. Clean that out. Clean this out, which I know there probably won't be much in here to begin with. And then he'll be able to dip in here, and then that'll be more worth it for him, I suppose. Because there he only gained, well, really he only gained 10 feet because he didn't cut right into it. I guess that would be kind of hard to do, I suppose, but I don't know, whatever. We'll have to just clean that up, mow it all down, and then mow around that bush and then cut that bush down, and then he'll be able to cut it. You know, he'll be able to dip in there. So then he won't be leaving this hay behind. He'll be able to cut that because he'll be able to go straight through it. So that was the main thing, because he left that behind. He didn't cut it yesterday. So, and I want that to be cut. I don't want that being left behind. There's no sense to that. I didn't know about those little bushes, if he would take them out or not, because I didn't know if they'd be... They should have been still soft because they were green, so they technically should be soft enough that you should be able to cut them. So I told him, you know, he could just make a special judgment call there, and if he doesn't think he can run them through the machine, well then leave them. You know, I have to just spray them with chemical to try to kill it, and then just cut it down with the chainsaw. They didn't come back last year, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They tried to come back this year, but we're obviously not going to have that anymore. So we're about hay protection, not tree protection. So, but once we get that bush out and I clean this up, he'll be able to cut that next year. And then this is when we're going to get into the thick of it here, because then you have another big bush. That's all bush. And then you have a smaller tree, which I was hoping, probably not next year, but the year after, I was hoping to at least get that stinking bush out, and then we'll deal with that tree whenever. Because there's not much left here after this. You know, we get these two things gone, and then we get rid of this tree, which is all by himself. Then you have like easily 50 feet or so until you get up to the next big tree. All this could be cleaned out and mowed. So, but there's still a fence in there, so you'd have to take the fence out, obviously. But I'm not gonna do it in such a way where he has to bob in and out. You know, I'd rather just have it all as one big swath. So, and this will be our next big victim. After that, then it's all just a couple small bushes and then some fencing, and then we're done. And he's pretty much dead, so got a little bit of life left in him, I see, but I ain't gonna worry about him. He'll be dead in probably the next couple of years anyway. But yeah, flies are biting too now. Get rid of that bush. Of course, the fencing. And then we got to get rid of this fence post, which we'll probably end up repurposing it for something else. Get rid of that bush. More fencing. Get rid of that post. Get rid of the fencing, and then we're done. We're going to, like I said before, we're going to leave this post behind because it's got my no trespassing sign on it, but we'll take the wire and stuff off. And then that's it. Then we're done with this. We can move on to something else. So it'll be a few years yet before we're 100% done with this, but a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, they're working underneath the bridge. So I'm not too sure what they're doing, but they're under it now. So I don't know if they're going to come on this side or not and do stuff. I don't know, because there is hay in here I would like to cut if we need it, but there's a log laying there. But if not, well then whatever. I mean, if they run it over, well, so be it. It's not priority hay to us, but I don't really want it to go, I don't want it to go to waste either, right? But if we don't need it, I'm not going to cut it. So, but cutting it would do some good too, because it would keep it clean. So, but I don't know. I'll make my final decision on that if when the time comes. If we don't need it, well, then I'm not going to waste my time with it. So, I'm not going to worry about it. So, because I'm sure, I'm not sure. It's 50-50. 50% chance we will need it, 50% chance we won't. So, but I don't know if we'll need it or not, because we have less cattle this year, and we probably will for the next 2 years at least, and then we'll kind of get back up to where we were. But hay in here is actually pretty nice. So freaking flies. But the problem is it's awful short stuff, but it's a pretty big area too, and you get like what, 4 or 5 of those big areas. So, and each area did produce, I think, 2 or 3 pickup truck loads out of it, so that's not bad, all things considered. So, I don't know, like I said, we'll worry about that later. I'm not going to worry about it now, because we don't need it right now anyway. And if they run it over, if they decide to work here or something and they run it over, well, so be it. That's why I was kind of hoping that we would have gotten the square field cut back in July, because we could have had another 4 inches grown on this hay, on the main hay, and well, I could have cut that, so for extra bit of hay. So, but I don't know, what do you do? So, oh yeah, he's out there now. Looks like he's almost got that field fucking done too. That's crazy. So, but I don't know, it is what it is. So, at least our hay is done. Don't have to worry about it and whatever the hell else. Just got to worry about it getting rained on now, but they're not really saying much for rain for the next few days. The only problem is that we're not going to really have hot weather anymore. We could be down to, well, we're going to still be in the 70s and maybe lower 80s, but that's really about it. So, I don't know, but there's nothing to really do about it, besides just, I got a feeling I don't know, I got a feeling we'll probably have to maybe flip it once, because it sounds like it's going to be mostly cloudy too all those days, and we're getting some good sun today and a good wind, so the hay will dry quite a bit today alone. It's not going to be enough, obviously, but it's better than nothing. So, yeah. So, we can get it to dry out, well then we'll be fine. So, that's one thing, since oh, that's my lights. What am I doing here? I'm gonna see if my I don't think my 4-wheel drive comes on. Does it? No, nothing's working here. It looks like I can't read any of these. I don't know, but it's not saying anything, so it's probably just freaking glitching out again like always. But yeah, I don't know. And this little bit of hay here that I cut in the garden, well, we'll have to do something with that. It's probably pretty dry right now, but I'm not going to flip it, or I'm not going to rake it until probably tonight. Let it dry a little bit right now, laying down like it is, and then we'll rake it tonight, and then it can sit for a little bit. Maybe overnight. And then we'll pick it up and then either give it to the cows, or I'll just go throw it on a freaking windrow or something. I don't know. got to come off so we can get maybe hopefully a second growth going on. So, but yeah, at least haying has started. That's the main thing. So, but I guess, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.